grubbing over the top of y'all's existing 12-inch force main that serves a large portion of the city across Ash Slough on the southwest portion of the city. But DOT is not requiring the city to relocate this force main. However, it's our recommendation, and I believe after speaking to Skipper, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I believe Mr. Skipper agrees it probably needs to be relocated due to the fact that if there's a problem with the force main during construction, if they break it, it will be up to the city to repair it. Also, you've got however many gallons of sewage that's leaking out into the creek during that time, and you've got problems with DEQ in that situation, and also the city could be held liable for any delays that is caused by if the contractor runs into y'all's force main and has to shut down for any length of time. Also, it might be a maintenance issue if the force main's left in the place it is right now, and you have to come back in and repair it in a few years. You're having to dig down right next to the bridge. So what we're proposing to do is actually relocate that force main. They're purchasing about 30 foot on each side of the road, additional right-of-way. So what we would do is just move it to the edge of the new DOTD right-of-way. If y'all look, the last page of my handout is a cost estimate that we put together for the relocation. The estimated construction cost is about $43,000. And then the engineering fees are listed down below. The cost of coming up with the plans and specifications is the $5,000 listed there. The other items is just basically a shopping list depending on what services the city wants us to provide. Since this project is going to be below the $150,000 threshold listed in the public bid law, the city can actually just go out and ask a contractor to come in and do the work, get a price from the contractor and ask them to come in and do the work. There's no requirement for bidding or taking quotes on the project. Now, if y'all want to get, ask for competitive quotes, then y'all can, but it's up to y'all how y'all want to handle that.
What type of repercussions do we have by not getting these bids? What type of repercussions do we have by local contractors or those that may be involved in the area by not getting these bids? And I have no problem with us going on and moving on it, but at the same time, if we don't allow these individuals to at least give a bid against it, then what kind of problem do we run into?
And let me just jump in real quick. This is a 12-inch force main that's going to have to be bored underneath the creek. It's a more specialized type of work than something that, probably, I don't believe that there's any contractors actually in the city of Winnsboro that would be able to do that type of work that are equipped for that. The nearest ones would probably be J-Bar up in Monroe or Womack & Sons down in Harrisonburg. Companies of that nature are the ones that are going to have the actual equipment to be able to handle something like this.
So we definitely don't have anything that we can do in this area ourselves to help the cost on this.
About all we could do is maybe down the aisle where it says construction administration equipment and resident project resident that's inspected.
Yeah, and like I said, the engineering is kind of a shopping list. If the city wants us to assist in taking quotes, then we can do that. If y'all want us to do construction administration or inspection on the project, then we can do that. And those prices down there are just ballpark figures of what you can expect if y'all ask us to do that. Now the city can handle that themselves if y'all want to. If y'all want to go get quotes or if y'all want to do the inspection on the project, then y'all can do that yourselves. And all we would have to do is put together plans and specs for. You'll need a DOTD permit and also a DHH permit. So that's what the plans and specifications for. And we can put y'all together a set so that y'all can just hand it to a contractor and say, here's what we want, what's your price on this, and then y'all would take over from there. If that's the way the city
would it be worth our while to look at it from that standpoint? To look at it and see what it could cost, the savings? Skipper? I don't know what y'all think.
It would be interesting to look at it. I think, it wouldn't hurt.
John, I would suggest, since it's under the public bid, at least get some competitive quotes.
And Mr. Skipper knows the contractors as well as I do, but I can give you a list of contractors to send out quotes to. if that's the way y'all want to handle it, and, you know, y'all can just contact me.
All we got to do is phone quotes, right? Well, probably, but you won't.
They're gonna wanna look at those plan inspections, something that's large. so.
Is that the spot where we're gonna be moving into the woods, into that wooded area too?
That's gonna be clear.
And that's another thing, let me just, about scheduling for this. We're not looking at doing this in the next month or 2 months. What I've asked DOTD is what their schedule is for constructing the bridge, and they're looking at this time next year as far as construction. And what I've asked them is, could we wait until they have cleared that extra area so that the city wouldn't have to bear the expense of actually clearing and grubbing, and also wouldn't have to worry with the U.S. Army Corps. They could get, y'all would basically be under the umbrella of DOTD's Corps permit. So, y'all broke y'all's podium here, but basically y'all are looking at probably next September to December before y'all would actually have to pay out any of this, you know, besides the upfront engineering fees for the plan specifications, actually the construction cost, that wouldn't be until next September to early 2014.
Well, DOTD needs all this information that we're gonna do it, and all these plan specs, so they can complete all there. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. They've asked me to have plan, if the city decides to relocate, they've asked me to have plans and specs in by the end of the month. End of this month. So I know I'm kind of dumping this on y'all quick, but
But you got to do the plan and specs anyway.
Yes, sir.
If y'all.
if y'all decide to relocate, then I'll have to do the plan and specs.
We got to do it.
We don't want to take a chance that line being broke here. Y'all might know.
And I don't know if it's such thing, if this makes sense. Whatever is bid, if we bid it out, we want to be able to reserve the right to make sure that we give someone that's comfortable to handle this job. Just because the bid is low doesn't mean that goes to the lowest bidder. If that individual does not have a reputation of actually doing or being successful in these type of projects, because we don't need any lawsuits and we don't need any, you know, any lingering time. We need somebody that's going to be, even though they may be low, we want to make sure that they have a reputation of doing a good, adequate job.
And one benefit that actually,
He could come in with John.
Check this out.
Yeah, and he'll solicit a competitive quote from a reputable contractor.
and that's one benefit of having, of being below public bid law and not actually going out and just soliciting quotes, is that you only ask the contractors that you are comfortable with and familiar with. You don't have to go to, you know, some company out of, you know, Mississippi or Texas you've never heard of. That's not what, you're not required to just award a low bidder. You can get somebody you feel comfortable with.
These prices are today's prices. Now, bear in mind if this thing happens next year this time, then it's probably possibly material.
We have seen some increase in material costs, and you know that's going to fluctuate primarily depending on the price of oil and gas. But it has been a steady increase, but it's pretty much around 3% per year. I have included a little bit of inflation in my numbers, so it's hopefully it'll still be good this time next year. But don't hold it in case, you know, another big hurricane comes through and knocks out the oil and gas industry. Really, what I'm
You don't need a motion to proceed with the plan?
Really, I believe that's probably what we need tonight, is just a decision from the council whether or not y'all want to move forward with relocating that line. And
really all that's going to be expense right now is going to be
the $5,000
plan specification price, so you look to have to pay at this point.
yeah, and then the next year you'll be looking to pay for the construction and all. If y'all want to do the extra engineering stuff, then we can do that too. But that'll come later next year.
What do you think?
Make a motion to proceed with the plan, to relocate the plan.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor, say aye. Now let the record reflect that unanimously approved.
Y'all didn't have any other questions about the rest of them? Thank you.
Thank you. Humane officers report.
Okay, number dogs adopted, 6, foster 2, Corning pen 18, 320 pounds of dog food. We have 1 cat deceased and 6 Corning pen. 24 animals.
What is your pleasure?
Move to accept.
It's been properly moved to accept and second. Also, all in favor say aye. Thank you very much. Fire chief. Mayor, as of year to date, we have answered through the department 149 calls. Since our last meeting, it's actually slowed down for us. 10 calls, of course, with the 1 rescue incident we had at the airport. The total year to date of 159 calls. Here since last meeting, we was all together, all of us together. Willard, Marvell, a lot of us over at the fire department have been starting to make improvements with painting, getting the place cleaned up, looking a whole lot better. Still got a little ways to go on it. And to add to that, starting a program, it's called the Explorer Program. I believe Wes Anderson has got to the council and explained, try to go over the guidelines of that. We're having our initial kickoff meeting with the Explorer Program on the 25th, 5:45 that afternoon, with some of the kids and the parents. So we get this program started off. So we believe we're going to be pretty busy. We also have Marvell Fire Prevention coming up.
Next month.
We've got it coming up next month. We do with schools, kids coming by and giving tours of the station, stuff like that. Hopefully we'll be through with all of our maintenance problems, get everything all spruced up for.
What day is that? Is it more than one day, Marvell, at fire?
It's October 7th through the 13th.
October 7th.
All right.
Is that, do y'all seek donations or door prizes or something? Is that the event that there's some things that are given to participants or not? Is that
No,
something
what
else?
we do, we give out fire hats and publications and pamphlets to the children, well, adults as well. And it's just an ongoing thing, all doing from the 7th to the 13th, and candy and that kind of thing for the children.
Great fire prevention. Like Mark was talking about, we do have school kids and we do the schools, but I mean, it's also for adults. I mean, we try to educate everybody.
Now, excuse me, we made a donation, was it not for that event?
Yes, ma'am. Marvell can explain that to the National Fire.
Yeah, that's through the National Fire Council. They would come around and try to solicit funds from the local businesses to help buy these pamphlets and any type of material we need for training. But what it does, the money goes to the National Fire Council. In turn, they got material that we need, and if we've got $500 available, that's how much material we can get for the kids. So that's what that's for.
So the money, I sent my check to our local
Right.
fire department, but it actually ultimately went out of state.
Yeah, what it does, when it comes to the fire department, I send it to the National Fire Council. They have a running record of the total of what we got, and also I've got that at the fire station, and that's the amount of material we can obtain. It'd be the same
Okay,
thing
so-
we were buying it, but it's through
so
the
it
fire
comes right
council
back.
because they've got the material.
It comes right back to
Yeah, the material comes back to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as of now, I think we've collected about $800 or $900 from the local businesses. And that's just something that the fire chief and I, we agreed upon when the lady came by to introduce this to us. So it's all legitimate, and And all that's gonna go through to the kids and also to the adults when the fire prevention program starts. And if we have any material left over, we still, it's gonna be an ongoing thing anyway. We still gonna have material available if we don't run out. Yeah.
What is your pleasure?
I move that we accept the fire chief's monthly report.
Properly moved and second that we accept the fire report. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same way. Let the record reflect that unanimously. Chief of Police.
Monthly report for August 20th through September 16th, 2012. On criminal charges, we made 47 arrests for the month. The highest of these charges were 9 disturbing peace, followed by theft of goods. Also, we I would like to talk about our burglaries here in the city. Over the last month period, we had criminal burglaries reported, but we also saw 4 that was that occurred prior to this month. So it was a very good month as far as getting those open cases closed. For a total of 47 criminal charges. Year to date was 434 charges. On traffic charges, we had 20 traffic charges. Year to date was 379. We worked 15 accidents, 6 on parking lots. 15 highway accidents on LA 15, LA 4, followed by 6 parking lot accidents for a total of 21. We took 552 calls for this time frame. Also, I'd like to add that Louisiana Delta College community has opened here in Winnsboro. As a result of them opening from the old trade school, we have taken on security here at the campus for 6 days now. So it's one of the things that we're proud to accomplish, that we are securing that campus for them. Thank you.
Chief?
Yes.
The actions that you have on your second page are, if there are any tickets or anything that's reflected above in the account, or is that an issue?
Some are and some not, Councilman, depending on if the way on accidents, if they can determine both parties that they're at fault, or whoever's at fault, they can agree on it. Usually there's not a ticket written on accident, but if there's a problem where who's at fault and also has to decide based on the evidence that's presented, usually there is a citation issue.
Okay, so my question, if there were just out of the 15, let's just say there were 3 of them that you guys deemed to be citation worthy, would that be reflected above?
I guess I understand what you're saying, would they be included in this number?
Yeah, right, in that number 28, those 3.
Yes, I don't know what to extend about it.
Okay, I'm just kind of curious for accuracy of numbers. Move to accept.
Second. Say aye. Aye. Let the record reflect unanimously. Move to Senator.
We had 2 events, one directly after the last council meeting and one this month. Other than that, there are none that are scheduled to be, well, we have one that's scheduled but has not paid yet, so actually none scheduled. But on September 27th, which is next Thursday, we're gonna go from 5 o'clock p.m. Well, we'll go for 6 p.m. We're gonna have an evening of appreciation. She doesn't know it yet, but I guess you know now, for Roxy. We're asking that the council, the city of Winnsboro is gonna do this. If that evening is good for her. If not, I'll give you another date. But it's September 27th at 6 o'clock, and I'll call you and let you know what district we're in.
Question. The Jones family function that was scheduled for the retirement, the sister that was retired from state insurance, did they have that? Did they have that function?
That's on the last report. Last month.
So they didn't have it, okay.
center. That your earliest convenience. Let's, I'll just get in touch with you once we discuss it today. All in favor of the community report?
I might want to check anyway. I might say.
I'll say.
All right.
All in favor, say aye. Reflected unanimously. Economic and development.
Well, I had two reports. He filled in on one for me. The certification of the industrial park will be, it is next week, it'll be complete, right?
September 25th is when we're going to try to get it done.
Okay, and the other is that airport is ready for the remodeling. TAB has sent letters informing the occupants that they have to remove their belongings. So, oh, well, he is sending, excuse me. Mr. Director told me you had them. So, okay, so he is sending them.
Okay, he brought me the information.
Okay, to have them remove their belongings so we can start the renovation on the airport. Okay, that's fine. I trust you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I move that we accept the economic development report.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor, say aye. Monthly finance statement.
We're at 17% of our budget now. I'm going to put on the back page of your financials an explanation of anything that was over. On our bond fees, that's based on, we received $30 on each person arrested and evidently the arrests were high. Is that right, Lester? Was that a lot of arrests? Yes. Because we were at 49% of our budget already. Let's see, construction permits, we had received a $33,000 permit for Northbrook subdivision. That's put us over what we budgeted of $30,000. And then we'll receive the one on Gear Street, so we'll be way over budget on that. So that's good, that's just revenue.
We've got, that's going to be an issue and a continuous issue with these inspections, in my opinion. Skipper lagging and loaded, and that's what's going on with this. And we used to have somebody else employed that could do these inspections. We need to seriously, again, in my opinion, find somebody within our ranks to get the schooling, the education needed, somebody we're paying a salary to do these inspections and stop that cost. That's the cost that we can do in-house, or some jobs we can do in-house, that I think we're letting it go out and it's costing the city a lot of money. And is that kind of clear? Or did I mumble that? Okay. I mean, Mark Whitney used to do that function for us, but now he is retired, and we need to find somebody to replace him and to take care of that expense, because it's pretty big.
What is it?
Well, so far we've paid, and that's going to be on the Northbrook, right, $16,000. Well, Gary Street, maybe about that much.
About the same.
Okay. Well, I've never invoiced, but we haven't paid it yet because we haven't done anything. But so that's $16,000 for just Northbrook. And I had talked to the auditors about putting that against the cost, and Skipper and I had talked about that, against the cost of the construction permit. And I originally had it coded to that, to kind of take it off the cost of your permit, so you can kind of see, I mean, the permit was for $33,000, we take off the expense. But when I did it, it made us have a, it didn't work out too good anyway. Made it look bad. So for now, so I took it back and put it back into administrating. And I talked to Taryn, the auditor, about, you know, what to do with that. Last year, you know, we did it out of admin, we did it out of a couple different accounts to spread that out because it's so much sometimes. So we'll have another one of those on Gary Street, which runs our administrative expense up. We put it there. So it's kind of, you know, Mike should have set up an account for inspection costs or whatever.
How many inspections are we looking at? Is it a normal three-phase inspection, or do we have on each?
It's a 5-point inspection, but the thing about it, Mr. Sonny, there's such a large project, it's like 48 units, and that's nothing that, you know, it takes a full-time man to take care of that. We do, any new construction comes in, I get a third party come in and help us.
So how many of these 16,000 do you project that we will see before the project is finished? How many of these projections? This is it. This is a finish.
That's one-time phase.
It's a one-time phase project, I mean, as far as the inspection is concerned.
Yeah, that covers all their 5
They covered
inspections.
Northbrook. Okay, now we got another one that's coming up,
Right.
the one down on Gary Street.
That's correct.
So we're talking about now another 16,000 or better.
Right.
That we don't have, but we're just projected in our budget. The 18,000
It's hard to project building permits.
Yeah, well, and I
We don't know
understand.
what's gonna come in during the year.
Now, on Gary Street, they're individual houses, right?
That's correct.
Now, on each one of those sites, each one of those dwellings, then could we project the cost from start to finish, from the foundation to, you know, to the finished product, as far as what it would cost?
Absolutely, but we won't know that until they bring that information to us. That hasn't been brought to me yet.
I was just trying to figure a way to get it.
No.
But we're ready to issue.
We're all our paperwork ready.
We're trying to get a figure as to what we can project versus what we're gonna end up having to, you know, what we can project versus what we're gonna have to pay.
Well, you could project that this year, but now, there again, next year, they may, you might be building projects.
Yeah.
May not do any commercial work. It's hard to project construction, not knowing what's coming in that year.
Those inspections are something that Mark did when he was here.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have to go to school for that? I mean, how do we
Yes,
get
ma'am.
that?
Do now.
Is that the national building code that they use?
International business.
International building code that they use across the board?
That's right. These are some of the laws the state mandated and passed.
3 years ago.
For us to abide by.
Mr. Knight spoken to you once before about sending someone
Right.
to the school for this purpose.
Okay.
And you said it wasn't necessary because we know when we have a large complex like that coming in, that we always hire someone else.
That's been since I've been taking care of the superintendent and the building inspector. I told you my load was so, but that's my recommendation. The bill and the police. Was to ask the third party to come in and help us on those bigger projects. And we're handling the smaller projects like that on our own.
Single structure you have.
Yes.
Did you tell me that the project on Polk Street that an inspector came in?
No, sir, Mark handled that one.
Okay, then we need to schedule schools.
Yes, sir.
The next one is going to be miscellaneous income. We received an insurance check for $12,000 $160 for damage to the community center. So that's why it's high. Swimming pool fees is 26%, but that'll be, there won't be any more of those until next spring, summer. Administrative expense is 39%, and that's gonna be because of the, invoice for the inspection, $16,075. And then we have to see some convention costs. That's one of the only two high things out of administrative. Administrative salaries, no, yes. They're at 17%, which usually we're a little under, but there were 3 pay periods and 5 pay periods, so that might be why that's a little higher. Salaries. We kept the budget to $22,500, but our actual expenses for recreation salaries through August was $26,000, so we're already 16% over budget for the year. So that's definitely going to have to be amended in some way before next summer, because we've more than spent our allowance for it.
Just for clarification, who's paid out of recreation?
All, summer, kids, the parks, the kids that help in the parks and the swimming pool.
They're the only ones paid out of recreation?
I think, because I think the ones that like worked in the office were paid out of administrative, I think, salaries, but,
You don't have any more crew that's more paid out of recreation?
we used to, but we don't anymore. But last year, it was strictly the summer kids was paid out of Parks and Recreation. And last month, and this was all, mostly, there was very little salaries in August, that was all July, but last month when we had our financials, what we were going by was the year before's proposed budget, and it was $35,000. So I never even noticed that it was over. Ball field expenses 28%. That's just, well, that'll level off. Let's see on capital outlay. Under capital outlay, we have the airport project, and then let's see, grant money. Most of that's probably reimbursed by grant money. And then community, that's going to be for the repairs to the roof after the storm. Right, insurance, that's right. Insurance reimbursed $12,860 of that roof repair. We haven't been reimbursed yet for that airport expense, but we will be. No, if it was needed, we got community center. Industrial park revenue, rent income will show $9,000. Winnsboro Rubber started paying, and so they had, it shows at 38% because they paid a little more than their monthly. Administrative costs, $6,500 on that's for the testing on industrial park certification. We did not. Well, we don't usually spend $10,000 budget for admin, so that probably we won't go over budget there. Miscellaneous, okay, and utility system fund, miscellaneous income was at 46%. I looked back at that. That was that's an adjustment that they make in utility billing, and it automatically prints out the adjustments that are made throughout the month. Usually they kind of offset a little better than that, and I've got to see why that is, and it may just, I don't really know why that happened like that. I looked at the journal entry, and then I looked back a few months, and it didn't really seem that out of line, and it may be just a combination of July and August was higher than normal. I've got to get with Charlotte on that and see what the adjustments are to utility billing that causes that. Because any adjustments they make to water bills, that's coded to miscellaneous income. But all the others are in line. Administrative expenses, the utility system fund is a little high. I think that's just going to be because our convention costs come out of administrative. And everything else in the utility system fund was pretty good. The waterworks department was QES system.
That's that radio system we approved here a while back. Put in that radio for now. Had communication problem between the booster station and then the well. We had to install this so that communication problem is correct. And we also got a part of the control board out, computer out there, but that was super light.
So we'll be reimbursed, but we won't be reimbursed for this.
How much?
$18,050. Okay. Did y'all have any questions on anything?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we accept the monthly financial statements.
It's properly moved that we accept the monthly financial statement.
Second.
And second. All in favor, say aye. Let the record reflect that unanimously approved. Mr. Moore, have you anything?
Yes, sir. You have before you a USDA handout on equal opportunity for faith-based and neighborhood partnerships. This pertains to and is in reference to this building, and of course how it is utilized as far as religious organizations are concerned. I'm going to suggest that you read it. The key to the whole thing is, of course, with direct funding from USDA and possibly a religious organization or function such as a church having church. It may be something that we need to look at, because if that is, it could be a conflict, and it could reflect on our possibility of receiving federal funds in the future. So I'm asking you to take a look at this. All of you that have one, I think we gave one to all of the council people, the mayor, and of course to legal counsel. Let's take a look at it, and if we have any questions whatsoever, then we can get in touch with the young lady that who is the director, or is acting director, and I've got her name here somewhere. But she can tell us, or even come to see us if we need her to come before, to make sure that we're not in violation of any of these rules and regulations. Her name is Kathy Beal, and she's the acting area director for USDA on community programs. Once again, I suggest take a look at it. Have any questions, by all means, you can get the number and I can tell you what you need to know. Our office is in Monroe. Yeah. One more. You know her? That gives us a hand up. Folks, you know, man, we always get with them. I know. But that's all right. That's all right.
Clear? Mr. Johnson, you have anything?
No.
And I'll take a motion.
We have this, Roxy, read a letter that Roxy, just for,
You just gave a quote. What you give? What did that say?
Right there.
Let's see, do you read, it says, this is a letter that was presented this evening to Mayor Jackie R. Johnson, City of Winnsboro, Board of Aldermen and Woman. And it reads as this: please accept this letter as notification that I am resigning from my position as city clerk for the City of Winnsboro effective October 11, 2012. I am purchasing the Winnsboro Office Supply and Radio Shack in Winnsboro. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to own and operate my own business. When this opportunity became available to me, I had to take advantage of it. I appreciate the opportunity to work for the City of Winnsboro for the past 15 years. This job has been very rewarding, and I've enjoyed working with you as well as all the employees of the city. The knowledge and experience I've gained will hopefully contribute to my success as a business owner. Sincerely, Roxy Fletcher, City Clerk. Yes.
What if we don't accept your letter, Mr. Ross?
Excuse me.
Yes.
I've got one question.
Yes.
I've been a supporter ever since you implemented that Employee of the Month program. I think that's good, but I submitted one on a guy. I think he really deserves to be recognized for his excellence in what he's doing now. I'm just trying to find out, maybe, are we still doing it, Employee of the Month?
We would like to start back. Nobody was turning it in, but.
Well, I submitted one.
Recently?
Yeah, I submitted one. And I think he really deserves to be recognized for it. I don't think he knows anything about it, but he's good.
Okay.
And looking to that for him.
I will.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, what is the process on replacing Ms. Fletcher? And how does the town go about doing that?
Excuse me?
On replacing Roxy's position, what is the process on that?
Replacing?
What are the steps that you see?
How do you replace one? How do you replace
We discussed that earlier today. Normally, it's a 2-week process. It's advertised in the paper 2 weeks to get applications, and then we make a selection. This time, Roxy's scheduled to leave the 1st of October. Really puts us in a real tight schedule. So I was to speak with the attorney to see if there's anything like an emergency replacement that could possibly go into place. But we accept applications. We accept. I have received one already, and I'm sure there will be many more before the process ends. So let me get back with you after I spoke with the attorney.
Yeah, and Matt, what I'm thinking, and again, I was caught off guard. I think Robert told me about it this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But I think the mayor would nominate someone, and then the city council would have to approve it. But like the mayor said, he's probably going to have a committee, and they're going to look at it, come up with some suggestions.
Question.
Yes.
The city clerk don't have an assistant, somebody who's familiar with that job that can be an interim to step in that position at that time into his field?
No, there's no assistant clerk.
I mean, you're asking somebody to step in a position that's going to be city clerk. When I just ask somebody to be just a mediocre job.
What we have, whoever is placed in the position, former clerk has agreed to come on retainer and teach that person the job. And I think he served in that position 30 some years. So we do have someone to train the next person to come in.
You're right.
That's no important.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
So,
Can I have a motion to accept the letter?
oh, yes, I will move to accept that letter.
Okay. Properly moved and second, all in favor, say aye. Let the record reflect that it's unanimously approved.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second.